At 1-800-Flowers.com, we know that connections are at the heart of being human. Whether celebrating life's joys or comforting during tough times, 1-800-Flowers helps you express what words can't. For nearly 50 years, millions have trusted 1-800-Flowers to deliver thoughtful gifts that help create lasting bonds. Because it's more than just a gift. It's your way of showing you care. Visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast and connect today. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Welcome to Sports Management Podcast, where you will hear interesting sports management professionals share their stories, experiences, and passion for the sports management industry. I am your host, Marcus Philipsson. Today's guest is Mikko Manner, the head coach of the Swedish hockey team Brynäs and assistant coach for the Finnish National Ice Hockey Team. Before coming to the Swedish Hockey League, Mikko was the head coach of the Finnish team Kärpät, where he won several titles. With the national team, he has won 2 World Cup golds, 1 World Cup silver, and 1 Olympic gold, only in the last 4 years. Mikko is an extremely humble person and puts his heart and soul into his coaching. At the time of our talk, he was enjoying some time with his family in Finland while preparing for the upcoming hockey season. Get ready to learn why he has not yet extended his contract with Brynäs, why he almost gave up on coaching a year ago, how the relationship between him as a coach and the management of the team works, if he will resume his music career, and much, much more. Here is Mikko Manner. Mikko Manner, welcome to Sports Management Podcast.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
It's my pleasure to talk to you. And for those of the listeners that don't know, you are the head coach of the ice hockey team Brynäs IF and also the assisting coach for Finland's national ice hockey team. So let's start with Finland, since you recently won both the Olympic and the World Championship gold. So how was that?
Yeah, maybe something special. Yeah, it was unbelievable. First time in the history of Finnish ice hockey, we find a way to win the gold medal. Of course, the competition was far away from Europe. It was in Beijing and a little bit like behind the closed doors. But still everybody was following, and it was a big thing in Finland. I think it was like 6 o'clock in the Sunday morning when the final game started. And when we won it, it was about 9 o'clock, and people get crazy all over the Finland. So they love to go out there and have a party. So it was something special for the humans also after the long pandemic break. So it was special. And then, of course, after that, I think we didn't have so much pressure to go to play those home championships in front of the new arena, in front of the people in Tampere. And right away from the first game, you could see that it was something special going on in the Finnish fans. Maybe because 2019 we won in the Bratislava, and after that you couldn't play in front of your fans, and they were like waiting for the national team to you can support them. So it was a lot of Finnish jerseys, and the atmosphere was something you are not used to have in Finland. You may be used to having in a away tournaments. So we didn't have so much pressure because of that gold medal in Olympics, and last 2 world champions we managed to be in the finals. So we just start to play and start to act like normally. Like I could feel it in my head that somebody was asking that, do you have a pressure to go to home games? I said, no, I can feel that we can just enjoy the moment. And of course, we know that it's hard to win. So maybe that helps us a little bit to find a way to be at the best when the game was on.
Of course. And as you mentioned there, you won the World Championship gold in 2019. You took the silver medal in 2021. And now latest, you took both Olympic gold and World Championship gold. So what do you think is the reason for Finland, as such a small country, to be so successful in the last few years?
If I think about history, I think we have been losing enough to find a way to win. Many times, if you want something, everybody wants something badly, and then we were the nation who was fell down in the last minutes. But if you keep going and keep trying, your players get, they get mentally stronger. We get the players to the NHL, and then the history starts going. Then somebody are the first ones to win. We need a Swedish coach, Kure Lindström, to help us win in '95. So that was the first step after those many, many failures. After that, we were also many times in finals, but we couldn't win. 2011 was the next time. And now I can feel it like that the Finnish mentality has been changing, that you're not afraid to lose. You're more like, if we stick in our game, we have an opportunity to win. Maybe old days it was a little bit that you were a little bit afraid of win when we were ahead of the game, or when you start feeling your own expectations and people's expectation in your head. So maybe you couldn't, enjoy those moments. So that was the history thing. And now last games where I have been with, having an honor to be in Jukka Jalonen's team, I think the biggest things are the values. Values about how we go through. We have became like a family. We have a lot of players who've been like now in that age that they are not anymore, young kids who just go on and play hockey. They have been like, they can behave like adults. They can support each other. They respect each other. I can, as an assistant coach, I can feel like what I do, everybody values my job, and I can feel myself important, and still I can feel that I can be who I am. I don't have to go behind anything and try to act like that this is the model of hockey coach or something. You can be just who you are. I'm quite open guy, so I can open my mouth and have fun there. And then when the time is on, our slogan is like in Finnish language, in English straight. If you translate, it's like when the time is on. So it means that when we have practice or meeting, then we are like focused. Another way, we are like, just enjoying life like normal humans. So maybe those values have been now building up the chemistry that we feel like that we are family, and then we can be, like really strong together.
Yeah, I understand. So from a leadership perspective, I think it's interesting because in Brynäs, you are the head coach, and in the national team, you are the assisting coach. So how does your leadership change in any way when you are assisting versus being the head coach?
Actually not. Actually, it's quite a perfect combination for me. And I think it's good combination also for Brynäs and for the Finnish national team, because when I'm assisting Jukka Jalonen, I can feel a little bit what's going on in his head, because when you're head coach, the pressure is on you. You many times, you're the guy who make the last decision of the lineups. You're the guy who communicates with the media, and you're the guy who needs to communicate more with the whole team. So maybe you start thinking about those things, and you need to make hard decisions. National team coach has to make the last calls, who are going to be in the last team, who going to play and stuff like that. So I can, as an assistant coach, I can support him with his because I can really bit know what's going on. Then it's a good thing for me also to support the head coach in the national teams that I've been like coaching every day. So he's coaching those tournaments, so he's not coaching every day. So I can, like little bit feel what's going on in the game of hockey right now, what kind of things I've been learning to find a way maybe to get better during the season in tactical stuff and like that. And then when I go to Brynäs, I have chance all the time to learn from the best players, to learn from the really good coaches, to see the international game and become a better head coach as a leader, to try to learn from Jukka Jalonen's charismatic way, how he communicates the team and how he can, have a message after some failures and stuff like that. So I try to become a better version of myself as a head coach, to live with those expectations. So I think it's perfect combination.
Mm. On an earlier episode on this podcast, I have been talking to Josef Boumedienne, who was highly involved in you being hired to Brynäs. First of all, what is your relationship to Josef?
I was 8 years in Oulun Kärpät, and Josef has been playing there, and he was a really good friend of many Kärpät, our doctor, and many players. And in the first years, I think he was some way also a little bit scouting for the Kärpät, like 2013 to 15. But mainly I became to know him during my friends over there. And he was, everybody respect him, and he was a good player, and everybody liked his personality. So you could find a way right away that he's like a good guy, and it's nice to be around good guys. So maybe that was our relationship before the Brynäs. And then when the season was over for Brynäs and for Kärpät, and they knew that I'm not going to stay there, so maybe it was our doctor who was Josef's friend. Maybe they talk about that Mikko maybe can be an opportunity for Brynäs, and then he contacted me.
Okay, so I actually reached out to him before this and asked if he had any questions for you.
Okay.
So one question that he asked was, how do you balance being an inclusive and empathetic leader with also being really tough and demanding? And he said that most people don't know that about you, that you are really tough and demanding with your team.
I think the demanding thing comes from being a competitive nature. And when, if you know your why, if you know why you are, including whatever you are doing, you should love what you do. And I love ice hockey, and I love to be a coach in a team, first as a player, of course, but after now, many years a coach. So I've been thinking about a lot of that Simon Sinek stuff, and I've been like, that's open up some lights in my head. And biggest thing why I love to be is team, that I want to belong something. I want to feel that I'm important. I'm a social guy. I want to be like around humans. I don't want to be alone. So that's the first thing why it's so nice to stay in being a part of the group. So I as a coach, I still want to feel like being one of the guys in the locker room, and use a lot of communicate and humor and stuff like that. And then, of course, that passion and love for the game, that I've been like, I love to look ice hockey after our games, but I'm not stressing when I'm looking it. My every day in Gävle also, when the normal, weekdays are on, me and my assistant coach Pajuloma, we visit my home and we look Finnish League games and everybody else playing. That's like stress. Without stress, it's my passion. So it's my love of the game. And then comes that competitive nature. So you always want to win. But that's not the biggest thing you talk about. But inside you, when I was a small boy, and I have brother and sister, they always said that it was not fun to play any games home, because you always wanted to win. And in the school, you always wanted to win. You didn't understand that you can just play. So I didn't. When I've been thinking about it, I think those are my biggest reasons why I want to be in a team. I want to be in a competitive world. So how can I be empathic? Empathic comes with that belonging, and because of my mother was really empathic, and she learned for me always that you need to be good for the other people. And I always believed good in everybody. I didn't understand the coaches who think that somebody comes to practice and doesn't want to succeed, and then they punish us in a beginning of 90s and those years when the leaders were really, really authoritative, or how you say it, like really, really hard. They didn't have any. Yeah. They couldn't communicate. They just tell, and they just put the fear in that maybe they thought that we can be, better version of ourselves. I didn't ever understand that. And my father was a little bit like that. He was really hard worker. He showed me an example, what's the work ethic. But he was also really hard. So I find that combination good for me as a coaching. And how can I be demanding on the ice hockey? It's because of the game. It's because of those tactics. So I only look those we build up the structure for our team, and my job is that everybody are staying inside of that structure. And then the game on the ice, we have details, and then I demand a lot of from those details, those values. Okay, I can tell many coaches do the same thing, but details like short shifts and no stupid penalties, and breakouts, be in your position, defensive zone, ready to do your job in your areas. And if I don't see them, there comes that demanding leader, and empathic guy comes then after the game many times. After the game, that empathic guy feels bad because the demanding guy was maybe too demanding. And then next day, I can communicate with my players. I can lift up my hand and say, I'm sorry, guys. I was like, I get too nervous or I was too angry during the game. And if you're authentic, you many times you get the respect of the others. And I also respect a lot of players who put everything in. They play with the emotions, like I coach with the emotions. And if they make a mistakes, and next day they are like, it was mine, I respect that. I don't respect the players who are like not playing for the guy next to you, because you choose the team sport. If you choose the team sport, of course, every individual are different. But if you choose the team sport, there's some structure and laws, then you need to respect others. And if you don't respect others by trying to do those things what the game or our tactics is expecting you, that's coach's job to come in and ask, those hard questions sometimes. But I answer in your question about Josef's question about that the game makes me demand, and the atmosphere, everybody else, the people around, keeps me empathic.
It sounds like a good balance, if you can balance it.
Yeah, I try to be better and better of that all the time. And of course, sometimes, because we are not perfect, we humans, sometimes you find a way to start thinking that I was bad and you wasn't so bad. So many times you also, like we are humans, you maybe do 9 things really good and then you do 1 thing bad, and then you are not blaming yourself. I'm blaming myself. Why I did that 1 thing bad? But then people around me can see maybe, hey, Mikko did also good things, and they respect, and I get the respect from the group, and that's the main thing, that I get the group to feel that they feel important and they feel valued. That people who are in our team, that they can feel that their job is important and it's fun to come to rink, and those stuff are of course more important for me than that's demanding thing, but that's also coach's job.
This episode is sponsored by InSport Education, the online business school for sport. Right now, they are offering course recordings on demand for only £199. Private equity in sport, sustainability in sport, or governance in women's sport, take your pick. As always, you get 10% off all courses with the code SPORTSMANAGEMENTPODCAST10. Click the link in the description below to see the complete course list. I've gotten a couple of questions also through Twitter, so we'll run through those, and then I have a couple of more myself afterwards. The first one is from Marcus T. How much do you have to say against Alsen and Graham about new recruits and how to build a team?
We are doing everything together, so I don't have to, we are a good team, and Johan and Erika are doing a good job in their positions. And me and the other coach, especially my assistant, the Finnish guy, Pajuluoma, we are a lot of communicating with and thinking about also the player match, what we should, try to find. And of course, we coaches want a lot of players in, but then also comes in that economic stuff that you need to find a good balance. But we are doing things together, and they respect us, we respect them. And also we try to build a little bit better team than last year, and that's why we need to cooperate really hard.
That leads me into next question that you're building the team. From question from Frederick Boltsius. What type of players are you missing in your current roster? And also the second part of the question was, do you plan to use Björninen in an offensive line?
We miss a couple of offensive talents, one forward and one defenseman. Hope we find them. And then Björninen, I'm going to use him in the top two lines because he can be all-around player, a little bit like Greg Scott. Both guys can play power play and PK and be strong in the face-offs and be strong in front of the net. Björninen has always been in his club teams. He has always been really, really good in the front of the net in the power play also. So we're going to use him, of course, over there too.
So are there any players, you said you're looking for offensive talents. Are there any names that you're looking in particular or something that is close to signing?
It's hard to be a coach when you have so much rules going on in hockey world. So I cannot name any names, but of course we have a couple of guys we've been, we are ready to act if the rules give us an opportunity. And now the rules are a lot of rules with European hockey has to do with the NHL hockey because there is those deadlines in the end of the July and stuff like that. So we look after a couple of guys. We need to wait, be based on what's happening with them. Are they gonna stay or go to the NHL, or are they going to be available for the European teams? And if they are, then we are ready to try to get them in the Brynäs.
Considering the Russia's war on Ukraine, are there players potentially from KHL that could be potential players?
Yeah, of course, because many imports are not going back there. So now you can see the European hockey world has changed. Switzerland, you can have like 6 import players places and many contracts they have done already in the season. So first, I think the many players go there and then they come to Sweden. So Swedish league is going to be harder than last year. Every team is going to be stronger. I think every team is ready to sign those players who get available from there.
Next question is from Alexander Ekström. Do you have any role models both in and outside of ice hockey?
It's been a little bit changing during my years, my role models. When I started my career, I was following Mike Babcock, Detroit team, as I'm going reading his books. And then I find a way later that he was not behaving so good, so I dropped him out of my list. And of course, now I'm really interested about John Cooper's way to build up that Tampa Bay dynasty, that he sees so classy out there in the bench. And when I was in the my first world championship as an assistant coach was 2016. We were playing semifinals in Köln against Sweden. We lost them, and before that it was Canada against Russia. And I think he was the Canadian coach, and we were in about the locker rooms were like next to each other, and he was really good guy already there. He could respect us. Then he start just winning, and his teams are winning, and you start wondering there's something special in that guy. So I try to actually now this summer a little bit more investigate why he's so good. And then out of ice hockey, of course, I love that Jürgen Klopp, Liverpool coach. I have been reading a couple of books and looking his biography video, film they've been made. So probably right now, the Tampa Bay, of course, Jukka Jalonen is a big role model for me from Finnish hockey. So if I mention those Jukka Jalonen and John Cooper from ice hockey right now, and then Jürgen Klopp from football. So maybe there is a good guys to follow.
Definitely. Do you think there is any knowledge that you could take from football coaching could be implemented into ice hockey?
Yeah, I'm so interested about trying to find out that tactics that there's 10, 11, okay, I can take 10 players on the field and they need to, play good together. So it's a little bit like 2 ice hockey teams, and they're building the small areas tactics during the big field. So there's a lot of things I've been trying to learn from the football, those counter attacks, that counter pressing, what was Klopp's key point in Dortmund before he came to Liverpool, and trying to find that logic that if you offense good and you lose the ball next, in football they say many times next 7 seconds they try to create 3 against 1, pressure back the ball and stuff like that. I try to learn to get to the ice hockey also, and of course that leadership. There's so many great documents being done in Amazon Prime videos. There have been maybe looking 15, all the possible that you can hear what they are talking and how they are communicating with the team, and you just try to learn to if there's something that you maybe can use in your coaching too, and try to help your team.
That's interesting. Last Twitter question from Vino Biffen. You still haven't extended your contract longer than the next season. Is that something that you would like? And if so, would your family move with you to Sweden?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think the biggest thing is this family thing, because we were eight years in Oulu, and then we come back to Vaasa, where we are all from. And my children went to to 7th grade, so they are 14, 15 years old. They find a good school here close where we are living. So it's not so easy to, bring them to the new country and again change their friendhood. And because as a father, you just want to feel that they are in a good education, that they can feel them safe. And then you can, maybe focus more in a peace of mind in your ice hockey coaching. So I don't know if I'm gonna bring them there, and that's the biggest reason right now that why I haven't extended my contract. And also I've been many times a little bit coached like that I need to first I don't want to be in place too long if I cannot help the team. So I need to first witness to myself that I can help the team. And it was easy to start last year because Brynäs had so much difficulties before my time. But now, can I help the team? Can I be a better coach? Can I help the team to take the next step? That it's going to be important personally for me, that I don't want to be a coach who makes a 3 years contract and then he's good in 1 year. And then you need to get rid of him in the second, and he's not going to be the best version of himself. So I need to find that also, that confidence also, that I can help the Brynäs, because that's so big and important for the people in Gävle, and I don't want to betray them.
That's so interesting. I haven't heard that reason before from a coach. I mean, if you take in Frölunda, Roger Rönnberg, he signed, multiple years at a time. The same with Sam Hallam did before. You sign at least like 3 years, but you say that that's not interesting to you. You want to do shorter contracts to prove for yourself that you can still help the team.
Yeah, when I became a head coach in Kärpät, I did that kind of contract, 1+2. So first year in New Year, both parts, me and the club, can say it off that it's only 1 year. They could give me right away 2 years, but I didn't take, because I wanted to witness to myself also that I'm worth of it,
I see.
Because you need to enjoy that coaching when you come to the rink, and you need to have some confidence also that you can help the team, because there's maybe that empathic side for me is there, that I need to have a feeling that the team is taking steps with my job. If it's not, many teams are problem with the coaches, because then the coaches maybe don't get better. But we are different. It's so individual. This is so individual. This somebody wants to do 4 years right away, can give the family right away over there, and somebody not. So I respect everybody's decisions. But that's maybe the biggest reason that I have not, extended my contract. It's nothing bad to say about Brynäs or Gävle. It's opposite. It's a great place, big honor to be over there, and that's why I wait so much to that next season. It's gonna already start, because we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna have a little bit stronger team, and and it's gonna be good to come back.
Has Brynäs expressed interest in extending your contract?
Yeah, we communicate last year, end of the season. We communicate with Alsen a few times and Hook, and they've been showing a lot of love for me. So I really respect their leadership for me and how they talk good about me, and like every fan also.
Moving on from the Twitter questions, I read recently that you said that about 2 years ago you almost quit coaching, and that working with Jukka Jalonen saved you in a way. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was before it was like 1 year ago. It was like I would not stop it like all. I would just have a break from the head coaching.
Okay.
That was, I was telling that after the 8 years in Kärpät, I feel like the last year was quite hard for me. I couldn't learn to lose, I couldn't learn to lose. So we won so much, and then when you start losing, you start feeling like you are not you are not good enough, and then you get frustrated, and then you lose maybe your strengths. You lose that sight why you coach. And after the season, we had those world championships in Riga, and it was the bubble championship, and it was so much fun to go there, and that atmosphere in the Finnish national team, the way the head coach is letting us to be who we are, like we talked earlier today. So that gave me back the love of the game. I was like one of the guys. I was communicating a lot with the players. I was like having details in the hockey when we were building up our game, and I could just take out all that stuff that you need to be that leader who has to make those decisions and take care about the results. You didn't have that in your back. So as an assistant coach, I found that love of the game back. And then Josef called me, and if he wouldn't call me, I would stay like only assistant coach this year.
Okay.
But when he called me, I also know that it's not so easy to get to the Swedish league as a Finnish guy to head coach. And that was my next dream to take after maybe short break. So, but when the opportunity comes, you cannot, just say, I'm not coming this year because maybe it's not coming anymore. So in this work or in a hockey coach's career, you need to, many times just live in the moment. And that was the moment to take the head coach job in because it was available. And of course, last year also a couple of times I was a little bit feeling that same anxiety or frustration. Then Håkanen found me a really, really good sport psychologist or mentor, how you say it.
Okay.
This guy, and he started helping me, and he's a great man, and he has been giving me so much wise words in my head. So it has been privilege to work with him, and it's fun to see him soon again when I come to visit Gävle.
That's very interesting, and also for the listeners to know like the amount of pressure that is on the head coach to win. And in Brynäs' case, that they were almost relegated the previous year, and it's such an old traditional club that has been forever and has so many goals. And you have mentioned that also sometimes that you would not like to be the coach that relegates them. And is that also, adding to the pressure that you have on yourself?
I don't actually have that pressure at all. Like I don't have maybe it was just to throw something out of your mouth in that moment. But I don't have that pressure. I'm not like afraid of losing a hockey game. Maybe the pressure comes from the not having a feeling that you are word of the team, because your job is to help the team, the humans who are like part of maybe the not just players, the materials, the people who selling tickets and getting sponsors. You are responsible for them. And if you're not able to help your team, to win the games, you start a little bit thinking about that you're not enough for this job. And that's maybe the thing who gets me the most pressure, or not the pressure. It's maybe more like little bit frustration, and you start feeling a little bit lonely, and you start thinking too much about what the other people are thinking. When you have to make hard decisions about the ice time, you maybe need to, and then you start thinking about how this guy is gonna feel in his head when I don't give him ice time, and you start being a little bit over empathic, and that maybe puts some pressure for you. But not that I don't never get pressure about that. Like I love the challenges, and I think it was easy to come to Brynäs because they have been having those problems before me.
I see. Season starts in end of August or September around?
Yeah, the league starts in middle of September, but always the teams first practice together is 1st of August.
So what's your summer plans? What are you doing now up until season starts?
Actually, now it was after that World Championship, we had like couple of parties with the Finnish. We had an honor to visiting our president last week, and now I just like recovering. I'm just like sleeping long, and starting to educate me with listening to the some webinars from NHL coaches and stuff like that. Like start to recover. Eat a lot of candies. I don't need candies. I always start to strike for me 1st of August, and then I don't need any candies, any ice cream, any dessert.
Why is that?
That's my like mentality game. So during the season, and then when the last game is out. So now the last game was that final game in championships. So after that, now I can in June and July I can eat ice cream and candies, and now I feel like that maybe it's a little bit like mass period for me now. Then I start getting good shape again when I come back. So I'm mentally now like just lying in the bed, laying in your sofa, looking all kind of Netflix or whatever series are coming. Then go a little bit bicycle, but not like practice hard or like I don't know. Maybe it's some. Maybe we humans also need to that kind of time that we are just not doing anything. And I'm in that period right now.
Sounds good. We're approaching the end of the interview here. Is there something that I haven't asked you that you want to mention?
Maybe the biggest thing what I always try to build is the dream when we go to the rink, that I have always the dream. We cannot calculate it anyhow, but I have always the dream that every human being has good to be over there. That's the biggest dream. And how we gonna do it? We're gonna do it by respecting the people who are not so lucky that we are. That we are lucky because we get the job from our hobby. So if you love something, what you do, like I love ice hockey, so I have like never been working. So I wanna tell that story to my team and the people around my team, that hey, everybody, I hope when you come here, you feel like when you wake up in the morning that yes, I can go to that rink. But when we are here, when we do our job as good as possible with the details, what it takes to be a successful player or coach or material or whatever is your responsibility in the team, role in the team. So if you do it really, really, big heart, big work ethic, respecting and building up that trust level for each other, then you respect those people who are not so lucky that you are, who who maybe struggle in their life, and maybe there is a lonely boy or girl who comes to hockey game and he has nothing else in his life, just a team who he or she supports. And if he sees your team players work hard and play for each other with a big heart, and then they maybe respect you, maybe they meet you after the game and they have some good funny communicates with you and talks with you, maybe that gives you energy, and maybe that you can save lives with that. And I've been seeing that happen many times. I've been seeing that happens during now the World Championships. We have two brothers, and the younger one was like in a school, they were like abuse him in a school, or how you say it, he didn't have fun, and their mother was a lonely single mother, no father. So we took him on our locker room, and we took the Marko Anttila and Sakari Manninen and Sami Vatanen, and they made an interview, and we gave him a jersey, and we take the tickets for him. And then then they asked, his big brother asked that can they put it on the social media. We said, of course, but we didn't talk anything about that abuse, that it didn't grow. So after the tournament, I get a really good message from their emotional message that now when he's in the school, the younger guy, everybody are like admiring him because he has been with those Lion Finnish Championship guys. So small things, what we do, really small things for us, can save somebody's life. So that's the key point in my philosophy, is that respect the people around us, work hard. You still lose or win, you still live with those emotions what the game brings to you. But there need to be a bigger reason than win or lose a single hockey game. And the bigger reason can be that you help people around you by playing the game you love.
That's fantastic. Looking ahead now, outside of ice hockey, do you have any plans to do a comeback with your music band Fifth Avenue?
Actually, now we just went to Spotify last Friday, Saturday night. We are in Spotify now, and now next Saturday we are gonna go and record our new song, and we are also gonna do it in Swedish. So we're gonna our new song is gonna be in Finnish and Swedish. So now we maybe have 8 songs.
That's great.
Yeah.
Amazing. When will that be released? Do you know?
The new song is gonna be released I think it's gonna be 15th or with about month, because we're gonna always have one party with our friends in the middle of the July where we sing that song. But maybe it's coming a little bit before that, maybe in a few weeks. But all the other songs are already there in Spotify right now. So
fantastic.
But those are Finnish language, so it's not so easy to follow in Sweden.
You can follow the rhythm.
Yeah.
The music.
Yeah.
If you could choose the next guest on this podcast, who do you think that I should talk to?
Now I have a good opportunity to learn from somebody. Yeah, that would be Jürgen Klopp or John Cooper.
Going back to your role models.
Yeah, because you want to learn from them.
That's true. That's great. That's great names. Mikko, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the Sports Management Podcast.
Thanks for you too. I had a chance to be here. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Sports Management Podcast. Please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought about this episode. If you want to get in contact with me, send an email to sportsmpodcast@gmail.com or hit me up on Twitter or Instagram @sportsmpodcast.